we're going to talk about a split table pattern. A split table in the old days would meant they'd take a nice Rose engine, either a wooden top or a cast iron top, and they'd physically cut this table in half. By cutting the table in half would allow them to turn very large platters on an engine turning process. This machine usually was not used for woodworking. It was an engine turning machine. So to engine turn large patterns, and when I say large, I mean at least 14, 18, 20-inch platters, big oval platters or round platters. So you really don't have to do this. If you just watch this process very easily, if you just take your spindle, the standard Linda White spindle, not the extra long one with the collets, but just your regular spindle, and turn it around. If you turn it around, you'll notice you have at least 3 inches, which is all you need to have plenty of clearance off the back side. Another thing you'll notice with turning off the back side, your piece of wood is probably going to be a little heavier. And because it's a little heavier, you're probably going to want power feed. If you had to stand in front and use the old yellow belt, it would probably slip if your part was off center like I have this, or you'd be in the front of the machine and all your work's going to be happening back here. Another thing you'll notice is all you have to do is turn your overhead to the back and you still have plenty of room. Another thing you have to think about is that whatever table or table saw or a machine that you have laying around in your shop, the center line of your cutting frame has to be on the same center line as your machine, your Rose engine machine. So in this case, all I did was set it on the old wooden top table that came with this machine, and then I had to put a 1/2-inch shim under the Rose engine to get it on the same center line. So it's a fairly easy process. It probably would mean that you have to move your Rose engine close to a machine in your shop, which I'd say this whole process only took me about an hour and a half to complete and get ready. Now, something else you have to keep in mind when you're doing a bigger projects off the back end is that this is not a fast process. This is a very slow process. Each one of these cuts are about 100 thousandths deep, which takes me at least 3 cuts to get to that depth. I want a lot of depth on this particular project, and this is going to be a wall hanging after it's completed. But to do just this right here took at least 50 minutes. So to do this whole project will probably be somewhere close to 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So it's not a fast process. There's not much work on my side of the fence. All you have to do is sit down and turn in the cross slide. Another thing you have to keep in mind on a big project like this, before you start, make sure you have a fresh set of carbide in there. A big project like this running for that length of time, you don't want to get in the middle of it and have to change your carbide, because you can usually get between like 25 and 40 hours on each set of carbide, but occasionally you'll be in the middle of a project and you'll notice you're not getting the cut that you need. So you may want to make sure you have a good set of carbide inserts in there, and that's just about it for doing off-center work on the back side of the machine. It's an easy process, and if you'll give it a try, I'm sure you'll have a good time with it. So thanks for coming to the Rose Engine Shop.